name is Rebecca, never Becky, and today you guys, I want to do an updated brow tutorial with you guys. It's been a very long time since I did a brow tutorial with you guys. I feel like it's necessary, especially for the new year, and I'm just doing new stuff, so I want to show you guys how I get my brows fluffy. And as you guys can see, I naturally have thick eyebrows, so I don't need a lot of product or a lot of work to get them big and fluffy. Because I already have natural thick brows, this trend that is going on is just kind of right up my alley. And I will show you guys the two things that I use. So it's first this little Foley brush right here. You guys can get it anywhere. I bend mine so I don't have to like do that awkward way of doing it. I just kind of go up with it, and I use dual glue. Now, I do not encourage you guys to do it. If you feel that you can do it safely, go for it. I personally do like it. It works really quickly and it saves a lot of time on waiting for the gel and all the rest of that stuff to dry. I do plan on buying the gel for my brows eventually, but this is just what I have on deck, so this is what I'm going to use. And I'm going to be using my little brush here. I do not use the pomade from Anastasia as much anymore, but I do also use this just to kind of fill in any areas that I want. And the color that I have is dark brown, but this is what I use to kind of touch up any areas. So now that I got you guys close, I'm gonna go ahead and start with this glue, and I will let you guys know that this dries really quick on your brows, and I don't know if it's because it's actual hair that it dries even quicker. So I will definitely say make sure that you're holding both in your hands, so when you put it down you are immediately brushing those hairs up. So I'll show you what I mean, and bear with me guys, I'm kind of fairly new at this, so if it's not like the best technique, I apologize, but this is just what I do, so I can't really talk and do it at the same time, so you guys just gonna have to bear with me and watch what I'm doing. So I don't know if you guys were able to catch that, but it literally is already dry. Like, this is not to be toyed with. And again, this is kind of why I like it, because I don't have to waste too much time trying to wait for the gel or any of that stuff to dry. And I don't know how quickly that gel works, but what I can say is that this is literally everything. Like, it gets it done. It's already like basically non-movable. Like, I can go back and forth, it's not moving. I'm gonna make sure that this is the arch that I want. That's one thing I will say about having this style brows. You know, I would lie and say, oh, you don't even have to maintenance your brows anymore, but you still have to maintenance your brows. So this is where it gets a little complicated for me, is making sure that they look done. And it's probably about time for a trim for me. So this is like real interesting to let my brows grow out. Before I was getting them waxed every day, and now I don't have to do that as much. I can kind of let them come in as they like, and I can clean up underneath. And I'm gonna do this same to this second brow, but I'm just making sure all the hairs are where I want them. I don't know if you guys can see, that is not moving. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead with the second one. And this is my better brow. I know everyone has like a good and bad brow, but this is my better brow, so she doesn't give me much problems, but I have to move quick. I hope you guys are getting a good view of what I'm doing, because it dries so fast. I just cannot even stress how quickly this dries. Can you guys see that? It's already looking so good. I literally love this method. It doesn't require me to have like the brow pencil or the dip brow. Like, I don't have to use so much product anymore now that I do this, and I honestly like that. That's like one less thing I have to buy and re-up on. So I literally love this method that is trending right now. I don't even care to fill in my brows as much just because I have really nice brows as it is. And I guess now that I'm doing it this way, I guess I can just genuinely say I never really appreciate how thick my brows are. I always felt like I didn't have thick brows, but you know, doing this, it's like, oh girl, you got some hairs, okay? I got some hairs on me. So right now what I'm doing is trying to just shape it and maintain the fluffiness, the look. So that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna go ahead and turn away from you guys because I think I'm making my brows look a little funky here. And it's really hard, like, to get them to move after they kind of have set. So make sure you're moving very fast before they really settle, because once it's done and you're pretty done, or you'll be looking like me right about now, constantly trying to make them go in a direction that they're not gonna try and go in. So I have to use sometimes facial expressions to help a sister out in this method. So that's what that's literally all that I do now. I do not use a lot of pomade or the dip brow, wherever it's called, anymore. And because it gets very like dirty on my brush, I love the fact that it's literally the easiest thing to clean. Like, it kind of gets clumpy, as you guys can see. I don't know if it's focusing. It gets a little clumpy, but I literally can just take my hand and rub it across the brushes and get all that little glue balls off, because I'm like, you know, brushing them so much that they're starting to develop, which is fine. I just want to make sure that my brows are where I want them. So I will say this is pretty much it. This one is just standing up so much higher. I don't want it to, and again, it's time for my brows to get trimmed, so I'm finessing them at this point, and that's what I want. So when I go in with the other products, I'm not gonna be working too hard. So that's that. We'll see how this one's looking a little, you know, crazy in comparison to this one. So maybe this is my better brow, I should say. But it's fine. That's what concealer's all for. So now I'm gonna go in with my concealer underneath and start playing the cleanup game. Actually, before I do that, let me go in and with my Anastasia dip brow, and again, my color is dark brown. I'm gonna get this little pencil here, or this angled brush that comes with it. So I always make sure, and I don't know if you guys are doing this at home, but I like mine to be cleaned every time. I don't like my brush to be dirty and that build up. I have a little towel here, so what I do is I rub it against my towel to get any excess product off from the last time I used it. So it's kind of doing a 2-for-1. It's cleaning my brows, and it's like, you know, I don't have to go and wash it every time, so it's helping me out. I'm now going into, and I've had this dip brow for a while, guys. Like, I probably should be embarrassed, but it lasts forever. That's one thing I will say about Anastasia's dip brow, is that you get your money's worth. You may feel like, oh my God, that's too much, but truth be told, it's really not. And I'm gonna show you guys that I'm just filling in those little gap areas. I'm not doing too much or going too heavy, I should say, on it. I just want it to be just about, just filled in. You know, that's my goal. I want it to look really nice and filled in. Because I have a shorter brow here, guys, I go on the top and I kind of, you know, fill it in at the top, because I don't really have much of a brow there. And then I'm just making sure everything is pretty cleaned and filled in. Gonna fill out this tail of my brow. When it comes to my brows, this is like the one time I'm very, very quiet, guys. It's so hard. I don't like to fill it in again, guys, too much because I have thick brows as it is, so I don't need a lot of product. And I'm just now making sure everything is where I want it before I clean up. I'm going to take some of this excess product out, and I fluff it out because I know the concealer will clean up anything that I don't want there out. I still don't like how high this one is, so I'm trying to get it down before I put concealer on, because when the glue is there, what I will say is when you put concealer to do the cleanup portion of it, the concealer sticks onto your brow in a very disgusting way. So I'm trying to get it as close as I want it to the shape that I want it to have. So that's why I'm taking my time, guys, and I'm doing it exactly, you know, the shape that I want, so when I do cleanup, it's not too crazy. So again, I'm just gonna take that on the way down. Probably gonna bring it a little further down. It's very hard to move these brows, but I love it. Look at this, this looks so good. I probably will never ever go back to thin brows or filling in. Like, it takes so much time just to do your brows already. Why would I make it any harder on myself? So I really love this method. What I'm gonna go ahead and do now, guys, is take my flat Real Technique brush, and I'm gonna grab my concealer, which I'm always like, where's my concealer? I don't pull any of my products out and then I wanna know where all my stuff is at. Well, you know. So, what I'm gonna do right now is take what's on the doe foot applicator onto my brush. I don't know if I'm showing you guys, sorry. So this is what I do, pattern motions on whatever. When I pull it out initially, when I pull it out, I just take the doe foot applicator and whatever's on it, I just use that to then. So what I like to do is start in the middle of my brow and then go underneath, plain cleanup. So if it's too thick or if I want my brows a little thinner, this is where that comes into play. I can give myself a higher arch. So this is where cleanup is very important. And what I also like to do is make sure that I go across in my, when I am going across, that my line is straight. I take small strokes to go across, and then I start to go as high up. Use whatever that product is. I dabbed a little bit because you guys will see what I'm doing in the middle, but use a little bit of that concealer I placed on my forehead or the middle of my brows. You guys know what I'm trying to say. And we're gonna just start cleaning up here underneath the brow. Which is just a concealer. I love the concealer from e.l.f. If you guys are not using it, I have both the matte and I have the hydration one, so I recommend it. It works so good, guys. Don't sleep on it, and it's so cheap. It's so cheap. I love it. Like when I first started last year on YouTube, you guys, well, not when I started, but when I started coming back, I should say, when I start refilming last year, I was buying Clinique, and I love it. I still love it, but what I won't do is buy it anymore, simply because I realized that it's literally the same thing as e.l.f. It's just, I like the amount that I get and I don't have to constantly be running back. So right now I'm gonna take a break from buying Clinique as a concealer when I can really just be buying e.l.f. right now. So that's what I'm gonna do. And again, I'm just blending out this. All right, so as you guys can see, I am done. Like, this is how quickly I get my brows done. No more pencils for me. I think I'm pretty good. I mean, I'll probably use pencils to start filling in if I don't want to use the dip brow, but this is my method now, and it stays. Like, she doesn't move. Like, I don't have to worry about, and it's like there's nothing on my hands, as you guys can see. I am literally touching them, okay? I'm feeling the concealer rubbing off, but I'm touching my brows because they don't move. They don't move, guys, at all. Don't. Okay, this is nail on brow. Don't move at all. No product transfer because I don't use any. Nothing on my nails, no black, no nothing. So I love the glue method. Again, I don't encourage people to do it. I don't know if there's, like, maybe if you're allergic or anything like that. I don't know. I don't encourage it. I cannot stress that anymore. I will encourage you guys to get the gel, the stuff that's actually meant to have your brow stand up. But if you're like me and you want to take that risk, that gamble, if there's a way that you can cut a corner, you will, and it helps when you already have the product. So again, I use the dual glue. Sorry guys, I'm like low-key looking for it, but any one of these liquid dual glues will work, and they all dry fairly fast, guys. They dry super fast, so you don't have to worry about, like, you know, how long you have to wait before you can apply your makeup. It dries instant. And so this is how I get my brows. And I hope you guys are able to take away what I am doing, and if this is helpful for you, leave me comments, guys, below if this method helped you or if you're gonna try it this way, and let me know how it goes. I will see you guys in part 2 when I finish this face. Bye.